Alex Pereira's recent call-out for a heavyweight super fight with Jon Jones has raised a lot of questions about what's next for the champ. Many fans started wondering, what if it's not Jones, but the winner of Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane at UFC 321? That would be a massive fight as well, but the Brazilian has already made it clear he's only interested in Jones at heavyweight, no one else. Still, the matchup possibilities are fascinating. Stylistically, Pereira would have a tougher time against Aspinall, who's got a dangerous all-around game and elite grappling that could test Pereira's ground defense. Against Gane though, things get much more interesting. Ciryl is primarily a striker, and that plays right into Pereira's wheelhouse. In a recent interview with the National News, Gane said he feels like a completely different fighter now, more focused, more confident, and convinced he'll finally capture the undisputed title. If that happens, a showdown between two of the most technical strikers in the UFC, Gane and Pereira, could be a very intriguing fight. Let's dive in and hear what Gane had to say.
I'm confident for this fight. I don't want to talk of the after the fight. I'm confident for this fight. I want this belt, and I do my best during the camp for that. But everybody knows my strength already. I can move very well. I can manage the distance very well. My striking is a high-level striking, and so I'm gonna manage this. I do this for me. Like the target is the belt, and I'm not focused on the social media, the people outside. I'm really focused on my family, my friend, my team, my goal, my target, and training. This is a different mindset.
With the featherweight division being as stacked as it's ever been, a new name just entered the mix, Youssef Zalal. After putting together an impressive win streak, he's now officially in the top 10, adding even more fire to an already loaded division. In a recent episode of ESPN's Good Guy, Bad Guy, Daniel Cormier decided to play matchmaker for the featherweight top 5. He called out Movsar Evloev for his inactivity and said the perfect matchup for him would be Zalal. DC explained that the undefeated Ingush needs to stay active and that Zalal's slick grappling would make for an interesting test. But here's the thing, Movsar's grappling has already been tested at the highest level. He's beaten super high-level grapplers like Aljamain Sterling and Diego Lopes, two fighters known for their dangerous ground games. Evloev's most recent win was in December of 2024 against Aljo. As of now, Lerone Murphy is the heavy favorite to get the next title shot, as he's coming off a huge knockout win over Aaron Pico and has an undefeated record next to his name. Let's see DC's detailed insight on all of this.
I missed the boy. I actually did not put him on the list. And I think that is why he doesn't get a title shot, because people just aren't as interested as they should be in a guy that's won as many times as he's won. The title shot for me is Volk versus Lerone Murphy. Then Lopes versus Yair Rodriguez. It's so personal between those two that they could fight and people would pay attention because of the history, but it could also matter because a win could potentially make them the #1 contender. Here's the problem with Evloev. Because he's not as known, I would do Evloev versus Zalal. So then you say, well, you left out #5 Aljamain Sterling. I would do Evloev versus Zalal because Zalal is a guy that is on that big run. If he beats Evloev, he really puts himself in the place. But if Evloev beats him again, let's just move him into a title fight, man. You can't deny a guy that's won that many times. What do I do with Aljo Chael? He sits as that backup fighter.
Newly emerged footage from a different angle of the infamous brawl between Khamzat Chimaev and Khabib Nurmagomedov's cousin from years ago shocked the MMA community. Fans got to see a side of the story that had never been clear before. This camera was focused entirely on Khabib's reaction as the chaos unfolded. In the original footage, all eyes and cameras were on Khamzat attacking Abubakar Nurmagomedov and the fight breaking out. But this new angle shows Khabib climbing up the cage, stopping halfway and staring down Khamzat from above. He hesitates, holding back out of respect and to avoid escalating the situation, even though he's just a couple of feet away. When Khabib looks away for a moment, he clearly sees his cousin shouting curses at Khamzat, so he knows exactly what's happening. It's wild to realize how close we were to seeing Khabib himself jump in and join the brawl, literally seconds away from full-on chaos. Let's remember that Nurmagomedovs and the Caucasian people in general are big on loyalty, helping friends in fights, and standing by them, so we were actually really close to this escalating into full-on Khabib versus Khamzat drama, literally seconds away from chaos. Chimaev is expected to face either Nasruddin Imavov or the winner of De Ridder and Brendan Allen at UFC Vancouver. Here's RDR breaking down the chances of him facing the champ next.
I tried to stay on this card because of the chance of fighting Khamzat after. That's one of the reasons I really wanted to stay on the Vancouver card, because I think Khamzat might want to fight before Ramadan, right? Ramadan is in February. So they talked about pushing the fight with Fluffy to a later date, but we weren't sure that he'd be ready on time. So I said, let's try and find a new opponent, and let's just keep working and show what I have. So that I have a chance to fight Khamzat in January, hopefully. It's got a lot more complicated, yeah. As you said, if I beat Fluffy, I think I'd have a good chance. But both Fluffy and Imavov fought Brendan, and both of them lost the first round. Brendan got very close in the last round to finishing Fluffy. He hurt Fluffy pretty bad, and none of them were able to put Brendan away. So what if I put him away?
Josh Thomson just dropped some insights on Oliveira versus Gamrot tomorrow, and he thinks a lot of people are seriously underestimating Oliveira. The chatter has been that Charles is coming back way too soon after that brutal knockout loss to Ilia Topuria a few months ago, but Thomson believes Oliveira still has the tools to make a statement. Gamrot, on the other hand, is a high-paced chain wrestling machine, and stylistically this fight is shaping up to be a grappling heavy war, not the kind of fight that fans will find boring, considering both guys like to push the pace and keep chaos in the cage. Charles is looking to make a strong comeback after the Topuria loss and has bigger plans on the horizon, even eyeing a potential call out to Max Holloway for the BMF belt, but he's got a massive challenge in front of him first. Gamrot has already pulled off a win over Arman Tsarukyan, so if he manages to beat Oliveira too, it won't just be another victory, it would send a loud message that he's a serious contender in the lightweight division. What do you think about this fight, MMA fans? Leave your predictions in comments below.
My problem with this is that a lot of people are writing Charles Oliveira off. Let's not forget, on the ground, Arman Tsarukyan was defending submission after submission and was able to finally get out of him and get himself to positions where he could survive the rest of the round. He had some great moments on the feet, Arman did. He had some great moments on the ground. He did some work, but Charles, to me, still has what it takes to beat guys like Gamrot. Gamrot just needs to get over that hump. This would be potentially him getting over that hump, but I don't know if he has all the tools to survive Charles Oliveira. So if I'm leaning towards one person, I'm leaning towards Charles. Is it too quick of a turnaround after his loss to Ilia Topuria? That's to be seen. We don't know. I think in this fight, Charles is the better striker. That's hands down. He's the better submission guy, hands down. His wrestling, obviously Gamrot is the better wrestler, but I look at all the other things that Gamrot brings to the table. Can he avoid submissions? He does get a little chinny.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.